Okay, Kai is me. I'm a painter. Well, I won't stop saying painter. I'm just a visual artist. Um, Mainly work with oil paints and kitenge, but then I have um, plans on now shifting my art and just kind of like exploring the whole range: sculpture, printmaking, um, a bit of graphic design, or also, you know, I'm slowly making my way to doing those things. But yeah, that's who I am. Something I love. That's a very broad question, but I'll try my best to answer that. Um, I would say, hmm, God, that's hard. I don't know why, because there's so many things. I'm trying to narrow them down. Like, which one is most enjoyable?
Top of your head.
Okay, the first thing I thought of was just like hanging out with my dog. He's the he's my life, you know. I've had him since I was 12. Um, he's a cute little Chihuahua-sized terrier dog. He's just such a character. I love hanging out with him. Um, I also really love just spending time with like friends and family, and I love having ridiculous conversations. I love to laugh. Yeah. Mm, oh my God. What makes me, I hate being stared at. I don't know what it is. I just feel so watched. I don't know how to deal with being stared at, and it happens quite often. So I've really learned how to just kind of ignore it. But I would say that's one thing I hate. Another thing I hate would be maybe the government. Oh man, and yeah, everybody hates assholes, you know. Just people who are just unnecessarily hating. Like, why are you doing that? Just love life. I don't know, but yeah, yeah. Both. I'm very like both of those things because sometimes I can really plan, but sometimes I can be extremely impromptu, and there's no time when I'm. I guess when I'm planned, it's when it's something very serious, like if it's an interview or if it's a project that I'm really passionate about. But the spontaneous things would be like if I made plans with some friends and they're like, "Oh, let's change this plan to this," and I'm like, "Okay, let's do it." Or like we're chilling somewhere, "Do you want to go do this?" I'd be like, "Okay, let's go." Yeah, so I'm both. Well, I mean, recently I've started looking at a lot of Black Panther Party facts, and I watched this movie called Judas and the Black Messiah. Or, yeah, Judas and the Black Messiah. Made me learn quite a bit about like um, the Black Panther movement and how things were in the 50s and 60s in the States, in America. Um, I've learned, printmaking. I joined a workshop. You remember when I was telling about like expanding like my art skills and whatnot? So I've been learning how to print make. I learned, I would say a life lesson I've learned recently would be to actually just like laugh my problems away. Like not, like to not really stress and to just kind of smile at my darkness, if that makes any sense. Yeah. Um, so what inspired me to do art was I don't even know if I can say anything in particular that's inspired me. It's just how I've always been since like I was 6 years old, you know. I would in class like my favorite subjects would be painting or anything that had to do with drawing, or at home I was a very introverted kid. I didn't really I was, when I got comfortable, yeah, I would talk a lot, laugh a lot, like engage. But then I was really such a homebody most of the time. So I think because of that, I would just find myself, drawing, making dolls, making like little necklaces and like uh, bracelets and stuff. I'd play with Scoobies. So I was very artsy all the time. And it just kind of like continued and continued. Like, and anytime I really stopped, I wasn't feeling good or happy. And I'd say like those times would be like class 7 and class 8, because it's like class 7, you're preparing for KCPE. Then class 8 is a time of KCPE. So like anytime you have, it's like all revision, revision, revision. Like my face broke out, I gained weight, I was so upset all the time. And then as soon as KCPE was over, as soon as it was over, I was just like, oh my God. It just felt a like a breath of fresh air, because I was just like, nah, I don't have to revise for shit. Like I was just so excited and very, very like I feel like my mental health stabilized in a way. So I would just say, I don't know what inspired me to do art. Maybe I can say it just helps me feel at home. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I would say paint. Like I paint and color. Anything that involves paint and color is just it for me, because I don't know. I feel like when I'm painting, I'm kind of molding with the paint. It's like I'm seeing in 3D, and I can properly see what I'm forming on the canvas or paper, whatever it may be. I realized this recently, because anything in black and white tends to like stress my brain out a bit, or anything that has to do with pencil and pen, like the constant, you have to be so planned with it sometimes. And I mean, there's definitely art that isn't planned, that's with pen and pencil and like any other drawing material, but it's just uncomfortable for me. So I'd say paint and anything that involves paint and color and sculpting.
Particular style on your pieces?
As of now, I would just say maybe human anatomy, because that's always like I like to paint people and just anything human anatomy. That's always something that you might find in my pieces. Well, the past 2 years, remember, okay, so I was explaining to you before how like I literally just like crept out of this hole 4 years ago, and I was like, oh, there's a world. So I would say since like the past 4 years, unfortunately, but fortunately at the same time, it's been like 60% social, maybe even 65% social, and then mental math. Let's just say 60. 60% social, 40% work. Yeah. I'd say environments that have lots of art and lots of plants and animals, if they can be there. Yeah.
Why plants?
Why plants? Because I don't know if it's like a placebo or if it's for real, but I feel like I breathe better. I just feel surrounded with life. It just feels nicer being around plants. They're so crazy also. Like when you really think about it, they're so alien. You chop off a stem and it'll grow back. Imagine if you could like chop off your fingers and they just grow back. Or just they're so unique, and there's so many types, and they're just really cool. I find them really cool. Yeah. I would just say like it's interesting. That's a really hard question, because this year and last year is actually really struggling with my creative flow. I don't know why, or at first I was blaming it on commissions and like doing art for other people, and not really doing art because I'm finding like I'm enjoying it. Um, but I would say that's a really hard one, because I'm still trying to figure it out even now, because I'm realizing that when I'm feeling down, maybe I don't feel like doing any work, or when I'm feeling mentally boxed in by rules or things that I have to do, it's strange. Sometimes I'm low and I don't want to do art. Sometimes I'm low and I want to make art. Or I'd be really happy, too excited to make art, or I'd be really excited and motivated. It's such a strange, I really don't know how to explain it, but I would say maybe one thing that sparks creativity would be just hanging out with other creatives and like being in their spaces. I think that really like sparks something. I would actually say it's very easy because that's what they want. They don't want to. I noticed that it's easy for African countries. Let's talk about Kenya. It's so easy. Like we get stereotyped very easily. So people want to get a lion or an animal or like just something that they would that they can link to that stereotype. And I'm not saying that the stereotype is wrong. It's not. But I also noticed that foreigners, like people from outside Africa, even people within Africa themselves, like they just like to embrace the culture. And so I wouldn't say it's difficult selling this genre of work to anyone, outside or inside. Yeah. Yeah. Um, I really want to step into like doing nude paintings, but I know that would make people really uncomfortable. So I only have sketches, but they will never be, oh no, they will be paintings. Maybe not recent, not now, maybe when I move out of my parents' house or something. I'm not saying they're very open-minded. Like my parents are very, very like, they're cool and everything. But if I start drawing genitals on paintings, like they're definitely not going to be happy. So there's that. And another really fun idea is I've been wanting to paint more mystical worlds and like, just made up environments, ones that I've pulled from different areas or that I've made up. Yeah. But again, that's still in the works. I have sketches, but no paintings. Yeah. No, I would say it's because it's more of a universal way of showing value. If I put Kenyan shillings, often people would have to Google and try and figure it out. Because I would say like a percentage of buyers, like a percentage of Kenyan buyers, for me is like 30% to 70%, which is like the rest of the world. So yeah, that's why I put dollars because it's more universal. Ah, um, I guess that's one quality I like, the fact that I can inspire people. It's really, I would say it's a blessing. Like I'm extremely humbled by that. And the first time I heard that I actually inspired someone, it shocked me a bit because I was like, damn, very, I was blown away. And to see that I keep doing that people get some kind of drive from maybe looking at my work, it really means a lot to me. So that's a quality I've learned to own, because at first it was also like a little bit of denial because I used to be like, but why? Like my work isn't, especially that J. Cole song, Love Yours. I really love that song because man, it really speaks to me. There's so many artists that I admire that I look up to and I'm like, wow, the day I paint like that. And so when people look at me like that, I'm so shocked because I'm like, but what about the other person? And it's just like, no, I've learned to appreciate my work through that as well. So, it's such a beautiful feedback loop of like, oh, someone's inspired by me and that makes me feel good. So I want to make more work. And then they get inspired some more. And then like this person's inspiring me. So it's just like such a nice flow. And Oh, another quality I would say I like is like just my ability to adapt socially. Because as I said, I used to be such a hermit. So being social was weird. Like it was just uncomfortable. But now I'm just like, when I realized that people are actually not that scary, I was like, so it made it easier to adapt. And I'd say another quality I like maybe is like making people laugh or smile. Like that is like one thing I'm really like, I made you smile, So yeah, yeah. How has it changed over the years? Maybe I can say on the professional side, making things legal, like creating contracts or having a certificate of authenticity when you're selling your pieces or making invoices for paintings. I would say just that professional side, maybe that's one thing that's really grown. I'd say another thing that has improved would be my craftsmanship. Like, and I don't know if it's perfectionism or if it's just the way it is. I don't know. I don't. I just feel like I've become more clean with my work. Like lines are more crisp, or things would be just done will be packaged and done in a very neat fashion. Yeah. That's hard because I like them all, but I also critique them all. So it's like, man, I like this one, but then there's that thing. Then I'm like, but that one was really nice. And I'm like, but what about that one? Maybe I would say this one piece called Virginity, because it's, I like the composition. Let's see, another favorite painting of mine would be, oh yeah, there's this one that I did. It's of a boy in the forest. Actually, it's an androgynous person. No one knows. People call him a boy. Some people are like, oh, that's a woman. So I'm just like, good, be confused. But they're in a forest and there's like lemurs behind him. That's actually my favorite piece right now.
Why?
Because compositionally it's amazing. It's colorful. I love the way I did the fur and the animals. And then there's like a bunch of berries somewhere in the corner that I think, man, I really like the way I did those. It's like the whole time I was painting, I was like, well done. You did good. So there's nothing I can critique on that painting, actually. That's why I like it so much, maybe. That's probably the reason why. Yeah. The interesting thing is that I feel like I'm inspired almost every day by very small things. Like literally, even if I'm just chilling with my dog, he's so tiny, but he wants to fight big dogs. It's like, oh, you can think of it in so many ways, like, oh, you're not being very smart right now, but at the same time, it's like that's courageous. Like that takes a lot of courage, or like, my mom really inspires me. Like, my mom came from like very humble beginnings, and so every day she's inspiring me. Also the fact that she's very capable of adapting in the real world, in the sense that she how they say you can't teach an old dog new tricks. She's very open to understanding things that seem very alien. I mean, there's a limit, definitely, but she's very adaptable, even in terms of like with digital stuff. It's like, learning how to use cryptocurrencies or trying to understand what's the new trend, even fashionably. Like she just inspires me, man. I would also say my friends inspire me because they're like real hustlers. But yeah, many things inspire me, I would say. Oh man, there was a time I was doing this painting, and I was painting this utopia, and in this utopia the idea was to have everyone very comfortable, and everyone is like just is in bliss. It's like the future where everything is like evolved, you know, technologically, biologically, spiritually. Everyone is just like, you know, living in their excellency. And there was this man who had lipstick on, because you know, I was just like, yeah, he's expressing himself and he's free and he has lipstick on and he's fabulous. And I give him like a stretched Maasai earlobe. And this guy, this was the first time I think I had to stand up for my art. So it was very memorable. This man came up and it was like, where's this man wearing lipstick? I'm like, I explained exactly what I explained. Like, oh, it's a utopia. It's supposed to be like bliss and all this, you know? And he was like, I don't like gays. I don't support gayism. And I'm like, where's this coming from? So I remember we got into this small debate, you know. He was like, I can even ban them. I was like, damn, bro, you know. So I remember just being really vexed. Like I was starting to get agitated because I'm like, you just came to me and I was just painting so peacefully. Like you just sat here and now you start telling me this. Like, you know, so that was memorable because of just how I felt like I had to defend my art and also defend, you know, this other concept and tell him like being gay isn't wrong, you know. And that's very controversial here, which I understand. But at the same time, it's like there's no need to spew hate, you know. Like you don't need to burn people here. So yeah, that was memorable. Another, I would say, a nicer memorable experience was when an artist who I really look up to was looking at my art and he was like, this is really good. And I melted on the spot. I was just like, what? You think this is great? So yeah, those are the two memorable moments for me. Wow. Remember when I was telling you, okay, so that school that I went to, SCAD, right? It is so nice. I kept thinking, I wish there was something like that here in Kenya. Like, if I could start a school, that's my biggest dream. A school that's just as good, and just as efficient and as professionally placed, and just, yeah, that's the big dream. Another dream would be to travel and to just, you know, I'm stepping into the field of curating art. So I have these very elaborate ideas of like things that I would love to curate, like giant house sculptures or like, you know, just ginormous things that are very intense. But yeah, those are like the big dreams I have, which I hope they come true. That's maybe I would say to make lots of money, you know, that would be the first one. Just like that, and you know, I'd just like to get better in everything that I do, better and faster. I just like to perfect my skill. I've never really stopped to think about what I want to improve professionally. I mean, I have, and it's what I've said, but I don't think about it that often. Yeah. Damn. That's an interesting question because I'm not even like, it was never the intention to be famous or to be known or anything. Like I was just vibing, you know, just doing my thing. And I can't say that I want more. It would be great, but it also comes with its pressures. So, yeah, that's a tough one for me. But it would be nice, you know. It would be a helpful. It would be a helpful thing, for, you know, for my career. But that's a tough question, honestly. That's really tough because it's not like I'm trying to be known, you know? Yeah. Yeah.
One last one.
Mm-hmm.
What's your biggest fear?
My biggest fear. An apocalypse. That's my biggest fear. I don't want to live through an apocalypse. Like, I don't want to be alive when one happens. It just sounds scary. I don't want to have to like go all mad. What's it called? Mad Max? No, that's just scary. I don't want to have to like slaughter animals to survive or like, I don't know. That's my biggest fear. We're looking for a realistic answer, actually.
No.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh, you want one more question?
Sorry?
Oh, you want one more question?
I wouldn't mind one more question.
What is tomorrow?
What day is tomorrow? Oh shit, what day is tomorrow? Is it Sunday?
Christ.
There we go. It's Sunday.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, guys, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Creative Shade. And yeah, have a good one.